So there's a lot of things I support, right? I support different characters, black, white, gay, straight, Asian, minority, Mexican, whatever. What I don't support is that you purposely try to change a character who has already been established. Now, there's already been talks of making Batman African. I have no problem with Batman being African, but don't make him Bruce Wayne. If you're gonna make, there's already a Batman character that is African actually, but yeah, if you're gonna make a character that's already established, make a completely different character that just so happens also have the Batman name. So if you're gonna make new characters, just make a different version. Don't call him James Bond when that's clearly not James Bond. So let's go ahead and listen.
As far as I can tell, every James Bond movie has made money at the box office, even the appalling Moonraker. So how does one transform a $7 billion movie franchise into a sinkhole? Well, how about heeding the advice of actor Dominic West, who says that the next James Bond should be a transsexual?
The guy overdid
James Bond is many things. He's a fashion plate. He drives the coolest cars on the planet. He's a bit of a womanizer, and he's got a license to kill. But whether he's being portrayed by Sean Connery or Daniel Craig or even George Lazenby, there is always a common denominator. 007 is a dude. After the upcoming Bond number 25 is released later this year, it looks as though the aforementioned Mr. Craig will be hanging up his tux for good.
Sorry.
And so the hunt begins for a new actor to portray James Bond. Yet actor Dominic West is suggesting that the next Bond should be a transsexual. Why? Because he thinks, quote, that would be cool, end quote. Now, why would that be cool?
I have a feeling that that's an exaggeration, though, when he said that.
Apparently in 2019, if it's trans, it's good, and if it's good, it's trans, period. By the way, does West want the new trans Bonder to be a woman pretending to be a man, or a man pretending to be a woman? Again, he pleads the fifth when it comes to the pussy galore department. But he does have a suggestion for the new Bond, that being Hannah Graff, who is apparently the highest-ranking transgender officer in the British Army. Does he, she, they want the role? Can Zips act? Who knows? Who cares? Because Sergeant Surprise Package is trans, and that's all that seems to matter in this day and age of reimagining iconic pop culture characters. Yet, while Hollywood has demonstrated it is totally on board for such gender-bending rejigging, the public is far less keen. For example, check out the all-female Ghostbusters reboot from 2016. It only scored a woeful 51% audience approval rating.
That's because the movie sucked. It had nothing to do with the gender, really.
Hey, maybe the next Ghostbusters should feature an all-transsexual cast, maybe even set it in Transylvania. I'll be rooting for the ghosts if that ever comes to fruition. The female Ghostbusters flop didn't prevent Hollywood from greenlighting last year's Ocean's 11 sequel, the all-female Ocean's 8. And the audience approval rate on that dud, just 45%. By the way, this gender bending is a one-way street, which is to say males are being replaced by females, and if West gets his way, she-males. In other words, you are never going to see Thelma and Louise reimagined as Theodore and Louis. By the way, in case you think I'm heartless, folks, I did indeed cry at the end of Thelma and Louise when the titular characters committed suicide by driving into the abyss of the Grand Canyon. I mean, they were seated in a 66 Thunderbird convertible. Why'd they have to take such a beautiful car with them? But I digress. But you know, I think I found the perfect drama queen if they do go ahead with this idea of making the next James Bond a Franken-female. Check out this recent video of a trans something or other freaking out in a store after he was misgendered. Folks, we're talking Oscar bait here.
I remember this.
Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am.
Honestly, there's really not much funny about this video because I feel like this guy really has something else wrong with him, like up here, not just his gender, but.
Right beforehand, you said, sir. Take it outside. You want to call me sir again? I will show you, sir. I need your corporate number.
Sorry, I keep coughing. I'm a little sick.
I need your corporate number now.
Amazing, and this guy, gal, can even do his or her own stunts. Did you see how she kicked the crap out of that display?
Okay, this really has nothing to do with James Bond.
We have our new boss. I'm David the Menzoid.
Okay, so David the Menzoid, whatever your name is. Okay, I think he's a little over the top. So, thank you, David, for all that. That's all I really wanted to hear was about James Bond, but you went and talked about other movies, which, honestly, the Ghostbusters movie sucked not because it had females in it. It just sucked. It just was not a good movie. It had nothing to do with females. You could have made a female Ghostbusters movie and made it good, but they didn't. It just sucked. That's just the end of the story. Now, I don't really watch the Oceans franchise, so I don't really know what to say about that. I have nothing against transgender people. I really have nothing against it. But I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to watch a James Bond movie with a transvestite character. I'm not. It has nothing to do with me being sexist. I have no interest in that. That's my problem. Like, Hollywood is bending these characters backwards and making them completely different characters than what they originally are. And that makes me not want to watch it, to be brutally honest. The same thing with the Teen Titans. They recast a certain female character, and the female character was not orange, and I know that's weird to say, and I know it's stupid to say, but I want my characters from the comics to be how they are on the big screen. Don't change their ethnicity. That's just ethnicity. That's just, but I don't have a problem with the actress. I think she's doing a great job in the show. I just prefer her character be like in the comic. So, really, gender changing has nothing to do with a movie being bad. But it also, there's the thing of catching my interest. And not just me, there's like hundreds of people, thousands of people that will even agree with me. Why would you go see a James Bond movie about a transgender James Bond? Like, or with a transgender character that's James Bond? Like, there's no reason for me to watch that. I'm a straight male. I want to see movies with straight male characters. Sometimes I'll go see a movie with a female lead because I'm a straight male. I like Lara Croft Tomb Raider, so therefore I'm going to go watch a movie with Lara Croft as a female lead because I'm a straight male, and I think some of the actresses that portray her are pretty sexy. So that catches my interest. But however, a trans James Bond or trans character does not catch my interest because I have no interest in that. The Ghostbusters reboot, one of the main reasons why I didn't want to see it is because it really had nothing to do with the original movies. They just kind of pushed them aside like they didn't exist. And guess what? I went to go see Ghostbusters with the all-female cast, and it was exactly like I predicted. They basically just said fuck you to the original franchise. They gave cameos to the original actors except for one who passed away recently, or tragically. Not recently, but tragically. But they basically did a big fuck you to the original Ghostbusters. That's why the movie didn't catch my interest, because I knew that it had nothing to do with the originals. But even then, it could have been a good movie. It could have been a better movie. The action, I think, in my opinion, was better than the originals. But is it better than the original? No, it is not. It's just a shit movie. You gotta admit that. I will happily see a James Bond movie as long as the character is not called James Bond if he's a different ethnicity. If he's African or Mexican or Asian, I will happily see a James Bond movie. But please don't call him James Bond. Call that character a different character. And that's what I have. That's the problem I have with these characters that are being reinvented or revisualized. Look what Marvel did with Miles Morales. He's another Spider-Man. He's African. I think that's pretty cool. But don't call him Peter Parker. That's my problem. That's the point I'm pointing out. But if they took Peter Parker and made him a tranny, that would make me just not want to read any Spider-Man comics ever again. Like, I would never want to read a Spider-Man comic ever again. Because I have no interest in that. And trust me, there are thousands upon thousands of people that agree with me on that. That solely agree with me on that. It's like, what if you take every single character that exists and change their ethnicity, change their sex, just change every single character, even in established movies like 21 Years a Slave. This is not the movie. The movie's called. I forgot the name of the movie. Yeah, make all those characters like white and make them transvestites, or take all the characters from what is it? What's that movie called? Oh, Lord of the Flies, the book, Lord of the Flies. Yeah, they want to change all that to all female characters, but I have no interest in that. I don't. I have no interest in that whatsoever, because the book is about boys, a bunch of boys being stranded on an island. You can make Lord of the Flies movies with the all-female cast, but don't call it Lord of the Flies. It's so easy. You can, make Speedy Gonzales a white character, but it makes no goddamn sense because Speedy Gonzales is Mexican, yo. He's Mexican. Alright, Bato? So, yeah. I don't know what Hollywood is thinking these days. Like, I really don't know. I really feel like they're losing money. However, the good thing is at least mangas and animes, at least they're still sticking to what they originally are. In my opinion, Goku is Asian, and they didn't change his ethnicity, they didn't change his sex. It's just, mangas just stick to what the characters were established originally. If they make a different character, then that's a different character. But the problem with Hollywood and the American entertainment business is that they're trying to change all characters under different sects, different religions, and it makes no fucking sense. If you're going to make and reinvent a character, just don't call that character the Punisher. Make a different character who's not Frank Castle and call him the Punisher. Because I have nothing against any race, any sex. I'm just saying, you guys need to stop taking already established characters and stop changing them. It's baffling. So yeah, what I will say is, I encourage them to make a transvestite, a trans Bond. Make a trans Bond movie. I encourage you, I applaud you, I support you 100%. But I will not be watching it. I won't. I will not watch it. I have no reason to watch it. Go ahead, make it. I encourage you. If it makes money, cool. If it breaks box office records, cool. I'm still not going to watch it. I refused to watch the Ghostbusters movie, not because of all-female cast, but because I knew it sucked. I'm not going to watch a movie if I know it's going to suck. I'm not going to watch a Marvel movie just because it's a Marvel movie. I'm not going to watch it because I know it's going to suck. Or even if I watched it the first time and I knew it sucked. So, I don't know what you guys are thinking. Go ahead, make your Bond movie. Go ahead, make a trans Bond movie. Because I will not watch it. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.